Skip happens. Skip happens. Skip happens. Skip happens. Welcome to the podcast. My name's Skip Clark, Skip Happens podcast host, along with Skip Happens podcast co-host Deb Lamphere, president and founder of the official country music fan club. This is the podcast that will bring you the stories. We will interview the incredible up-and-coming artists out of Music City. Also, we chat with the big stars, and we talk about their journey to stardom. We also love talking to entrepreneurs. Not only that, it's people like you and I. That's all. And just remember, Skip happens. So get over it. Let's get right to the podcast. We can't get enough of that intro. I don't know what it is. And I don't know if I could say entrepreneur, whatever that is, ever again. I don't know. I stumble over my own words. Teddy Robb, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I need to get me one of those intros. That was awesome.
I'll do one for you. Mm-hmm. I have my own voiceover studio here, too. We do a lot of that. All of us radio guys, we got like irons in the fire all over the place. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's always that just in case, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I'm learning that about you guys.
Exactly. Teddy Robb, it's such an honor to meet you. We haven't spoken before. This is the first time. This is like an impromptu radio tour type of thing. But we got you on the Skip Happens podcast tonight. Heaven on Dirt is your single that is like climbing the chart like it's on fire. And I know that's not your first single, but that one's really kicking ass for you. Tell us a little bit about you, Teddy. Where are you? Describe your surroundings right now.
Currently in Nashville. Just got back actually last night. Went up to Ohio, which is where I'm from, for Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
Spent a week there, and I'm here for a night, and then I'm back on the road tomorrow.
What do you mean on the road? You're getting to play somewhere?
Well, not exactly playing, but I'm going down to do some radio stuff down in Florida. So excited about that. I'm excited to. This is actually going to be the first time I've taken a flight in about 9 months for radio stuff. So.
Oh my gosh, are you going to
fired up?
I wonder if you're going to have to quarantine when you get back. I don't know how all that's going to work because the airline's pretty strict with all that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll do whatever it takes to get back to work.
Well, they have that thing where you're supposed to test 3 days before you get back on the airplane. Are you even going to be somewhere for 3 days long enough to do that?
Man, I don't know. I do know I have the antibodies, so I feel good about it.
Oh,
okay. All right. That is a good thing, especially if you're going to Florida. Then you should be okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope, my friend. My fingers are crossed for you. But it's a pleasure to chat with you here tonight. And tell us a little bit about Teddy Robb. You're growing up. I know you played football for it a little bit. And how you got into country music. I think a lot of that had to do with George Strait. But tell us all about that, would you?
Man, I love that you said I'm growing up, because that's kind of that's what it feels like. I've been in, I was first introduced to country radio really as an artist in like May of 2019. And that's what this last year and a half has kind of felt like. It's like growing up in front of everybody. But before that, I'm from Akron, Ohio. Little suburb of Akron, but that's kind of the closest area anybody would know. And I grew up fishing, hunting, playing football, being outdoors as much as I could. And I didn't realize that, that's what kind of country music is all about. I had no idea. I grew up on classic rock, and it was when I was about 15, 16, I was dating a girl that said, if we're going to hang out, you're going to listen to country music. And I said, all right, well, I wanted to hang out with her. So I started listening to country, and then it wasn't too long that I started realizing the lyrics in country were just so relatable to my life. So I started paying closer attention, started learning the country stations. I wasn't even playing music. I was, just my head was all into football, and wanted to, get a scholarship and do all that. And
what position did you play in football?
I was a defensive back and a wide receiver. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, college I was a wide receiver. So there was
what college? What college did you play football for?
So, man, I was a mess in college. I transferred I guess twice. So I ended up graduating from Kent State, but played for, I was at Akron for a year and then another school called Walsh. But man, I was kind of a mess in college, to be honest. I ended up finishing and getting my degree, but all that while I went through a heartbreak. Saw my parents get divorced. I stopped playing football, which that was kind of my identity. And then it was like my junior year, I just kind of felt like everything was broken. Picked up a guitar because I'd always wanted to play guitar. And that kind of felt like it put pieces back together for me. And all of a sudden I had this thing that I was really passionate about again and filled with life. And I started doing open mics, and then that led to getting some paid gigs, which led to me thinking the crazy thought that I should go to Nashville. So that's kind of how I ended up getting to Nashville. Finished my degree in like 2012, and it wasn't, but within the next year I was headed to Nashville.
Awesome. So I have a question. So if that were me and I just picked up a guitar and started playing, I mean, how do you know you can even like sing and sound well? And did you teach yourself guitar? I mean, for me, probably people would look at me and say, don't let that be your day job kind of thing. And here you are with,
I think I'd have a few friends that would tell you they told me that back then. I just think it's like anything else. You put your 10, 20,000 hours into something and it starts getting pieced together. I loved it in the beginning. I wasn't very good when I started singing and playing, but I knew that I found something that I loved. And through the last 11, 12 years, whenever things got hard or challenging, I always just had that to go back to was, well, I just need to master this craft, this thing that I'm trying to figure out, this thing I love doing. The money and the deals and all that I just always kind of saw it as it's off in the distance, but right now I just got to focus and just keep learning this instrument that I enjoy playing. So that was kind of always my mindset. I had a lot of conversations with my dad of, man, things are tough. I'm struggling to put gas, in my car right now. Things are looking sketchy, but we'd always come back to, well, wake up tomorrow and get a little better.
Exactly. Dad always has the right advice. I'm just saying, get some rest, come back, we'll look at it later, and it's all going to be good, right?
Yeah.
But that's your dream.
Well, did they think possibly this was basically like a phase for you, seeing that you had such a rocky start to your college career? And
a lot of people, I think, probably thought that, and but it wasn't for them to decide whether that was true or not. That was for me to decide.
Good for you. Absolutely.
I knew I found something that I just when playing and when I'm singing and performing, I just wanted to figure out how I could do that more and more.
God, that's great.
Well,
that's great.
It worked out well for you, that's for sure.
And we got a long way to go still.
You picked up the guitar. What you said, you were a junior in college when you picked up the guitar. So, I mean, you've learned it a little bit later on. Most, a lot of artists, they pick up a guitar at the age of 6 and then they take it from there. But, you already being in college, picking it up when you were a junior, and you're concentrating on it and making it work because that was your dream. You knew what you wanted to do at that point, and nothing was going to stop you. So, and now you've got the music on the radio and you're on fire, dude. You're like, that song is gone.
Man, I think that did something to where it put a chip on my shoulder too, of like knowing that all these people that I was around had all that experience from the time they were maybe 5 or 6 years old playing and singing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that. So I always felt like I needed to wake up the next morning and practice and work on my, my craft. And I think that just gave me some really good habits to, where when things start evening out, it's like when you're a kid and you're playing a sport, and some kids are just naturally bigger and stronger and faster. But then when you start getting to be like a junior, senior, if they didn't keep working and you are working as a kid, you start catching, and then you can eventually pass them. And I just kind of related this to that feeling in sports where, I'm like, all right, well, you were faster and taller and bigger, but I'm going to keep working and I'm going to get there. And that,
I got to say, being an athlete, I think you have more of an incentive to get things done. I think that athletes are known to be very persistent, outgoing, and making things work, and they will do whatever they need to do to make it work. And I can see that in you. So, I mean, but being a football player and all that, I mean, you're an athlete all through college, so that's cool.
It teaches you so many things. It teaches you how to work with others, adversity. Man, you learn quick to go through some adversity when you're 16, 17, and all of a sudden you're have a losing team. You got to figure out, am I a loser? Or we're gonna figure this out and get it together?
Tell us about your snowboarding. I was reading your bio a little bit and says that you're an avid snowboarder.
Yeah, man. I started skiing and snowboarding like I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. My mom would have the rope behind me, and then from the time I was a kid, we were going on ski trips, and I think I was in high school and I'm like, I want to live in the mountains someday. So the opportunity came. I got offered a gig to play music when I was like 24, 25. I'd already moved to Nashville, but I got offered this gig out in Colorado, in Vail, in a ski town at a resort place called Pepe's. Really cool. It's like badass little, it's like a resort, hotel, restaurant, bar, all the kind of stuff, ski shop, all in one. And when that opportunity came, I was like, you know what? I'm just young enough still to where I can go do something crazy and go live in the mountains for a year. And so I did it. And that was an amazing experience. And the craziest part of it is that at the end of that, I met somebody that led me back to Nashville, and
awesome.
A couple connections later led me to my record deal.
When we talk about snowboarding, though, were you one of those like wild and crazy guys that does the flips and all that crazy stuff, maybe like the extreme sports, the X Games, or were you just pretty much kind of laid back and just kind of doing your thing going down the hill?
Somewhere in between. I didn't do the like X Games stuff. The park is painful, and I certainly tried it a few times, and I got decent at it, but I was always chasing after the powder, man. I wanted to get in like as far away from people and backcountry, and the 1 year I lived out there, I had like 100 days on my board, so at about 50 days of snowboarding almost in a row, I started feeling like I could do most of the things I wanted. I was dropping cliffs and doing some fun stuff, but I always tried to keep it within what I could do. I knew I was confident that I was going to survive it if I was doing it.
Well, that's why I said, when you're young and you have that energy and you have that mindset, like I could do this, you have no fear. That's where it's going. There's really no fear there. So you might as well go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I have a little more fear these days.
Well, as you have more fear, you kind of wonder if you can still do it. I could take my glasses off here. But that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So you're still doing it, right?
Oh, yeah. I still snowboard. I'll be going this year if I can. I went last year. I'm just a little more cautious than I used to be, but I still I'll snowboard and ski until I can't do it anymore.
Don't do anything that's going to jeopardize what you have going for you right now. I mean, you're living your dream. You're making it happen. The last thing you want to do is, kind of screw that up. So don't do that.
Yeah, I promise.
And only break a finger. You can break. No, not your finger. Not your playing. No, you can't do that. Break a toe. Never mind.
Yeah, break a toe.
But do you go back to Colorado each year?
I spend a lot of time in Colorado just because I know the mountains, I know the area, but I'm definitely for exploring and going to to new places. I have some bucket list places that I want to try, but I just kind of Colorado seemed like the place to go always.
That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I've never been to Colorado. I'd like to see that sometime. I've heard a lot.
Oh man, if you go and you don't want to ski, or if you don't want to ski, I would say go in the summer. It's so beautiful. I went out there for the winter and I got through the season and I was kind of thinking I'd go back to Nashville, and everybody that was out there was like, no, you got to stay for the summer, man. That's where it's at. So I did end up staying for another like 6 months, and it was a magical summer. You never, like in the winter, you only snowboard and ski. In the summer, I was rafting and biking and camping and hiking and just there's an adventure for you every day.
The river's got to be awesome. Going maybe white water rafting down through the mountains. That's got to be cool. That's got to be
I It's on my daughter's bucket list to do that in Colorado. I have an older daughter, and she wants to do the rafting and the hiking and the mountains and all that. So hopefully over the next year or two, that'll happen. So if you have any good recommendations, let us know. I'll need your
Vail's
list.
amazing. You know, I lived in Vail, and you know, it's kind of got a bit of everything. There's a ton of places that are amazing in Colorado, but you know, just living there, I didn't venture too much because it kind of had everything right there.
Let's talk about you as an artist a little bit now, and the music that that you're putting out. You've put out several singles from what I've seen, and now Heaven on Dirt is just, you know, that's the one that they called me and he said, you got to listen to this, man. This is good. And I listened to it once and I went, oh my God, this is awesome. I don't, can you guys still see me? There you go. Okay. My computer's like going on and off. But when they told me about Heaven on Dirt and I listened to it once, I said, this is a no-brainer. This song is awesome. Tell us about the background with that. Did you write it? Who did you write it with? So on and so forth.
So I did my first EP, which was the 5 songs that came before Heaven on Dirt. And that was, you know, talk about growing up. That was you know, all of a sudden I'm in the room with Ben Fowler, Matt McGinn, and Shane McAnally, and they're producing. Wow. And I'm watching those guys, you know, help me make the, you know, music out of these songs that I loved. And I think that discovering yourself as an artist takes a lot of years. And I love that EP. And I think, you know, for my first EP, there was some songs I really connected with on there. But then hearing Heaven on Dirt, which is an outside cut, even though I didn't write it, I connected with it so fast. I heard the demo and all, like, I know I love a song when I can hear it and I kind of see the movie in my head. I'm like, you know, I'm all of a sudden transported back to my childhood growing up. And I just really connected with that. And for me, country music is about when artists connect with a song and then believe in it. And I think you can tell when something isn't authentic. Mm-hmm. And this one for me, man, I grew up on some land, was lucky enough to do that, and being able to fish and hunt at a young age and learn to be an outdoorsman was just something I'll forever be grateful for.
How did you actually get in writing with Shane McAnally? That's huge. Shane, I mean, he's, you know, one of the biggest and one of the best. There's a lot of them out there, but he's right at the top of that, you know, that whole gang. So how did that happen for you?
A lot of luck, a lot of hard work, and you know, some fate, and a little bit of talent, I guess. I was in Colorado, and I was kind of at a place where I was really struggling. Like I was playing music out there and I was making a living doing it, but I knew that I wanted to do more, and I'd been at it for like 5-6 years at the time and hadn't really made any connections. I just remember I was supposed to play that night and I called off. My buddy took the gig, but I wanted to go watch him because I was kind of thinking in my head, like, I don't know if I can keep playing bar gigs. It was just, the lifestyle gets tough.
Well, I'm sure.
And said a little prayer, you know, to myself, am I supposed to keep doing this or not? And a group of guys walked in and I offered my table to them, and one of the guys that was in that group happened to be the CMO of the Grammy Awards. And
oh wow,
we started chatting, and I didn't even know he worked in music, but I told him what my dreams were. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, I don't know what I can do for you, but I might be able to connect you with some people. I was like, oh wow. He handed me a card. It's, you know, said Recording Academy on it. I was like, that seems like the real deal. I've never seen one of those before.
The raised ink and all that. It's like, wow, okay, this is the real thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he just made a connection. He back in Nashville with a friend, and said, I just got a feeling about this kid. I don't know would you take a meeting with him? So I went to Nashville, had a meeting, led me to a producer. And then one day he just called me up and said, hey, I got a meeting, look good. And I went in, and that the head of the label was Shane McAnally and Jason Owen and wow. Katie McCartney. And I went in, and that was my first time meeting Shane. Eventually signed a developmental deal, did that for a year in 2017, eventually signed the full record deal, nice. Publishing deal. And I signed to Shane's, writing company as well. So
congratulations. That's amazing.
That's how I ended up in a room with Shane. But
yeah, so you're signed to Monument, right?
Yep.
That's fabulous. That's so cool. That's so cool. Now, do they pretty much tell you what to do, or do you have a say in how all that works? When you want to put out music, how does that work? And let me put it this way: as an artist like yourself, working with a major label like Monument, who makes the decisions? Do you have some input on that, or how does all that work?
I think it's really collaborative. They're smart. They there's a few people that have been doing this a long time, a lot longer than me, that are kind of figuring out plans and whatever. I try to stay in my lane and make the music that inspires, me first, and then hopefully it'll eventually inspire them, and so on and so forth. I mean, I'm a part of the conversations, and I want to learn about it. I'm growing up. They're all really smart, and they're putting their skin in the game to help me have a career in music and to be an artist. So I trust them. I give my input whenever I'm asked, and maybe sometimes even when I'm not, but but it's pretty collaborative.
But that's how you learn, right? You have to you have to learn the whys and the why nots, and what makes things tick, and their planning, and the route that they're going to take to get you to where you want to be. So
yeah, I like to see it like, maybe they're just up a little bit higher in elevation. They can look down on 30,000 feet and see it a little clearer. And maybe someday I'm up in the clouds with them and I can kind of see it a little more. But right now I'm down here working on music and trying to, figure out who I am as an artist.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, do you have to pinch yourself? Like, is this really happening? Because, I can't say it enough. Heaven on Dirt is doing what it's doing on the radio. And it's like, is this really happening? Do you have to pinch yourself every once in a while and just kind of, wow, this is really happening. This is like taking off.
Definitely. And, I've had those moments right now. I feel so, just kind of focused and locked in on what we need to do. I've got big goals. I would be lying if I said I didn't. I really feel like we've got a shot to do some amazing things. And, I'm very thankful for where I'm at, but I'm really excited about where we're going.
Yeah. And when I was online and I was talking to Deb about this as well, looking at some of the things that you had done, it was just about a year ago, you were on the Today Show, you and your band, I believe. And now I'm thinking back, I think I saw that. And
that was definitely
all together. It's like, wow. So was that the first time having, that's like major network television. Was that a first for you?
So in like back-to-back weeks, I played or I sang the national anthem at the Packers stadium. And then the week after that, I went on the Today Show. And talk about some emotional highs and that was the first time I experienced being an artist where you're at such a high and then it kind of, slows down, and we went into Christmas break, learning how to deal with those. And what a roller coaster that was. I no matter what happens with the rest of my career, that was such an amazing opportunity getting to be on the Today Show.
Wow.
I probably saw that because I watched that show religiously. I don't. They have you up at the crack of dawn.
And shout out to them, because you never know what's going on behind the scenes and everything with these shows. But they were so professional and just so generous and kind to me while I was there. Hoda and Jenna are just everything you think about them and more.
You're not the only artist that has said that. So, they're the real deal as well. And, they respect you, you respect them. It all works. So that's cool. Singing the national anthem at the Packers game. Was that the first time you had an opportunity to do that? Or, that was back when the stadiums were full, I'm sure. And was that nerve wracking?
That's the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life. No matter, you could say any other moment, I can go to that one. It was like 85,000 people, and it was a night game, and I'd never sang it ever for anyone.
Dude, that's the hardest song to sing. Ask any artist. and they all sweat it out. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, how many times you've sung it. Each and every time is a little bit different, and it's the hardest song to sing.
So I was on radio tour, and I was, up near Green Bay, and I had a really great visit, and I was on that day, and I was singing good, and they're like, "Hey, can you sing the national anthem?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" And they go, "Okay, good. We need someone for the Eagles-Packers game Thursday night." And I thought to myself, "What the hell?
What did I get myself into?"
Dude, but what great exposure though. You pulled it off. You had it. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Are you a fan of the Packers? Are you a cheesehead by chance?
Oh yeah. More now than ever, but I grew up watching Brett Favre. So
okay. Well, that explains that. I got it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
So that was your taste of a preamp of what it's going to be like when you're playing in the stadiums night after night after night with an audience that big. Got a little taste.
It was like a little miniature taste, and I got to tell you, I'd like to have some more.
I'm sure.
It's pretty good.
We're talking with Teddy Robb tonight here on Skip Happens, and again, thank you for joining us. But I noticed you've got your guitar close by. Would you like to play us something?
I do, sure.
We would love to hear something. I mean, it's your choice what you want to play, but we would definitely love to hear something.
Well, I think I probably should sing the single that I have, that's on the radio right now.
You're going to say the national anthem. I'm going, no, that's okay. Go ahead, sing the single. Okay.
This is Heaven on Dirt. My daddy used to curse that ground, but he still put the money down on a shotgun trailer house on the outskirts of a town nobody knows. Was born blessed, but I couldn't tell. Grew up fast and fought like hell to get out of there anywhere. I didn't care, but I had to go. Might be a little rose-colored glasses, but it seems like every year that passes, I'm thinking more about way back when. I didn't know it back then, but it was heaven on dirt. Ain't no place on earth like that 40-acre plot where you talk to God cause your cell phone didn't work. Might not be for everyone. There it still runs in my blood. The beer was cold, the trucks were old, the dust was gold. It was heaven on dirt. I kissed my first love in the front yard, on the hood of my first used car. Had some good nights with some good friends and mud tires on holding ground. I moved out and we lost touch. I didn't know we meant so much, but you don't know what you're missing when you ain't around. You don't know what you got till they tear it down. No. It was heaven on dirt. Ain't no place on earth like that 40-acre plot where you talk to God cause your cell phone didn't work. It might not be for everyone. There it still runs in my blood. The beer was cold, the trucks were old, the dust was gold. It was heaven on dirt. Oh, it was heaven on dirt. Might not be the little rose-colored glasses. Seems like every year that passes, thinking more about way back when. I didn't know it back then, but it was heaven on dirt. Ain't no place on earth like that 40-acre plot where you talk to God cause your cell phone didn't work. Might not be for everyone. There head still runs in my blood. The beer was cold, the trucks were on, the dust was gold, it was heaven on dirt. Oh, it was heaven on dirt.
Wow. See? There it is. Wow. You never get tired of that either, do you?
What?
You never get tired of playing that either.
No, I need to play it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think I forgot a lyric. I'm like, man, I need to get out and play this more.
Well, we didn't know. I just thought it was awesome. Of course, the words are great. You know, the beer is cold, the trucks are old, and wow, that is so cool. It's so cool.
Well, it's so great. I was just double checking my numbers to make sure I remembered, but that already has over 1 million hits on Spotify. And that doesn't even include the Apple Music and all the other streaming services out there. So congratulations.
Yeah, Spotify, they're smart for giving us those numbers. They're the only one that lets it be public to, how many streams you have. So.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's like people see that, and then, that's how your word gets around, and other people are following what other people are listening to. That's a great marketing strategy for them too.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody anyone who's playing this song, you're just helping me out so much and helping my dreams come true. So I appreciate anyone who's watching, who's in the streaming business or radio.
From a radio standpoint, we as programmers thank artists like you for giving us the great music. So it works both ways, because we can't do what we're doing without great artists like you and others. So, it all comes together. That's all for each other. So
that's we talked about growing up a little bit earlier, and that's what I'm learning about this industry is. It is so intertwined, and I think that just makes it even that much more important to treat everybody good and be kind to each other, because we're going to see each other again at some point or another.
Exactly. You were talking about Spotify here just a moment ago, but think about this whole pandemic thing that's going on, the COVID. That has actually increased the numbers. People are streaming more. People are, getting their music from a lot of different avenues now. I mean, that's one side of the pandemic where an artist has got to go, man, this is pretty cool, because now there's more people listening to this, and my numbers are going up, and more people are getting to know me. All that, the pandemic thing that's the good side of it, I guess.
There's some silver linings on it. I just can't not talk about or think about how tough it's been on the music industry as a whole. I'm definitely happy that we've been able to get our music heard maybe a little more on certain platforms, but it's I can't ignore that it's just crushing for musicians right now, and the live side of things. It's brutal, but I gotta hope that it's like a slingshot getting pulled back,
right?
And when things kind of start going back, I just believe that people are going to be there for the musicians and the artists and everything that that's been kind of taken from us over the last year. We're going to be pretty excited when it comes back, and
everybody's going to be. We're going to be excited for you. We're all going to be there. It's going to be yes. But
when the first big concerts start getting going, forget it. I think it's just going to be, I don't even know what the word is, chaos everywhere, because people will be so excited to be out and listening to music again. So.
What have you, with this whole pandemic thing, have you done it? Have you learned how to do anything new? Maybe like how to hang the shirts in the closet or anything like that, anything crazy like that? Have you been able to get new habits? I don't know if they're habits, but
yeah. A few things come to mind, not in any particular order, but I've gotten pretty good at making some whiskey drinks.
Nice.
I've gotten into the whiskey, some Manhattans and some old fashions. If you're interested, I'll make one sometime.
Oh, that,
so
man.
That's been a nice little thing I've learned. I already liked whiskey, but just being home and having kind of that time to really learn how to make a good drink that was really fun. And especially in those first months there was a lot of that going on. Man, I'm an okay guitar player. You know, I play acoustic quite a bit, but
Okay.
man, I picked up the electric during the pandemic more than ever. I've kind of always dreamed.
Wow.
It started off for me. I wanted to be an electric player, and I spend about an hour every morning on this guy. So that's been just an absolute blast. It's been a piece of therapy for me. It's been, it's been awesome. So that, and since June, I think I got to a place where, I hadn't spent this much time by myself in a long time, and especially with radio tour and everything last year, where you constantly getting put somewhere and you've got someone almost kind of with you at all times.
Sure.
There was just some, and nothing too major, and don't really need to get into it, that side of it. But there were some things I wanted to change or fix. The best way I could say is maybe I was always chasing after this person that I wanted to be. And I kind of got tired of chasing after him. And around June, I made some decisions to maybe catch him. And that's mental therapy, physical, mental. And I just, have spent a lot of time trying to get myself to where I'm kind of living a life that I'm proud of and to be proud of myself. So I spent some of that time during the pandemic to do that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think we've all taken a different look at ourselves. We look in the mirror and go, okay, I need to change this, or I want this, and we've got time to do that now. So it makes you a better person.
It's that reset. I call it the reset. You sit back, a little self-evaluation, and you figure out what's important to you and what are the things you can let go of and what are the things you're going to maybe improve on or just change about yourself. And I think we've all experienced that to some capacity.
I think we've been forced to a little. And, we've kind of been given this choice of going one way or the other. And I think we all had to look at ourselves and go, who do I want to be? And, everybody's decision in their own. I just, I think through this, I've tried to make some lemonade out of the lemons.
Well, you're doing it very well. I think you have. You're no stranger to radio, I think, because I did a little bit of homework. Did you work in a radio station, or you interned in a radio station back in the day?
My first gig in radio, I was an intern at our local radio station in Akron, WQMX.
Okay.
I was just falling in love with country music, and they were playing it. So I went and, tried to get an internship, got it, and started going to the, different events and shows and whatever. And, they knew I had dreams of being a country artist someday. And I'll never forget them providing the opportunity for me to go see Dierks Bentley.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he said at his show, I know there's somebody out there who believes they can do this. And I just want to tell you, it's possible. I remember him talking about that. And I thought, he's talking to me. Yeah. And I moved to Nashville not too long after that.
Yeah, you were the guy that put the wheel on the table and put all the prizes out for everybody, right? Didn't you work in the promotions side of that? Made sure the jock was all good to go, and okay, you're good. The wheel's up, prizes are out. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great though. I mean, what a way to get your foot in the door. And I think that also benefits you or anybody in your shoes, anybody that does that, because you get to know what the other side is like a little bit. Okay, this is what they do in the radio station. This is how this works. So I think, that also works for you as an artist.
Man, there's so much that goes on in radio that I had no idea about, but I'm glad I got that little glimpse into it before moving to Nashville.
Tell us about the radio tours, though. Getting up at 3 a.m, possibly to be at the radio station at 6 and being Mr. Happy to be on the morning show. Was that difficult, or is that difficult as an artist?
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't.
Okay.
I remember going on a stretch where I was getting about 2 hours of sleep a night for maybe like 5 days. And I was just kind of almost like a zombie, but you're expected to be on. And the thing that feels good about it is that, like guys like Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw, they had to do it too. And it's almost like a rite of passage, but it's also an incredible opportunity to get to meet all of the industry in a short amount of time. Exactly. I was so grateful. I love to travel, so I got to see the world, or at least our country, in a, on somebody else's dime, kind of. I got to go around and just see all these places that I'd never seen before, and I loved every bit of it. And I even loved the challenge of getting 2 hours of sleep and having to, drink some coffee and be at a station at 8:30, sometimes 7:30 in the morning, and be, ready to sing. I loved the challenge. It was, it was brutal at times.
Yeah.
But that's just, if you want to do this, unless you have something, an anomaly happen, you got to go through it. And I love that about country music. I think that is what makes our format so special.
When we could do it and the artists would come through on the radio tour, I always look forward to that, just to say hello. And I kind of figured it was tough on the artists like yourself, but for you to take that initiative to come by and visit the radio station really means something. I know there's other people that may disagree with me, but if you're coming by to say hello to me, come on in, let's talk. Let's find out more about you, because I believe everybody deserves a fair chance. And, I'm not going to shut the door on anybody or anything like that. It's like, that's cool. That's really cool that you did that. So, yeah.
Well, if you ever pass through Syracuse, I can assure you we won't have you get up at, all hours of the morning.
Because I'm on in the afternoon. So
yeah, we'll do an afternoon run for you.
Perfect. I love the afternoon runs. I don't mind mornings as much anymore. I'm in a pretty good habit of getting up and, all that. But
have you ever been to
for a reason,
True.
I got into music because I like, being up late.
He likes being up all night long.
I like being up late. There's the reason I love country music.
No,
that's fun.
That's true. Being up late and having a drink, like a whiskey drink. So that
whiskey drink.
Yeah.
Have you been through the Northeast? Sorry, Skip. I was
just going to ask him, what kind of whiskey, Teddy?
I'm into Angel's Envy right now.
Ooh.
It's man, that's been such a great one. But kind of Woodford got me going. That was like one of my first that I really was like, oh, this is different. Nothing against Jameson. I think it, stuff like that. There's definitely a place for it, and there was a place for it for me in college. It kind of stayed there. Once you start having some fine whiskeys, it's like, you just kind of realize. But I love Knob Creek, Woodford, Angel's Envy.
Oh my gosh. That's good stuff, though. I mean, Angels is like smooth.
Oh gosh, it's so smooth, and it just keeps getting better. Like you're like every sip you take, that's awesome.
Never mind. I was gonna go. No, you don't even want to hear it. All right, so you've got your guitar with you, as we mentioned before. Can we get one more tune out of you, or no?
Sure.
What do you think, Deb?
Oh, of course. Could not be without a second song.
Then we'll wrap it up. But we got Teddy Robb on Skip Happens here tonight with Deb Lamphere and myself. And you heard Heaven on Dirt just a little while ago, and now let's get another tune out of them.
We've been talking about all this whiskey. I got to play this new song I just wrote. I've got some songs out that maybe I should play instead of this, but I just wrote it, and I'm always kind of looking forward, I'm looking forward to this song.
Okay.
I love whiskey. I haven't, I'm not shy about it. I think it's like certain alcohols do different things to different people. Whiskey's good to me. So that's why I just got to thinking, but there's one thing, whiskey can do. And that's what this song's about.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. What'd you say? Off the air, we'll find out why whiskey is good for you, or what it does for you.
It just soothes me. I get it puts me in a good mood. So
relax.
This is whiskey can. This is what it can do. So
okay.
Press your lips on my lips like a bottle. Tonight I'm gonna drink you up. Keep pouring that beautiful on me. With you, girl, there's no too much. You got the whole room spinning. You got my heart racing. I've seen a lot of things, but nothing like you, baby. I've been 3 sheets to the wind, but I ain't never been this strong. Never had a harder time getting out of bed or waking up. I feel something different when I got you in my hands. There ain't a better buzz, girl. You do what the whiskey can. The way you peel that shirt off like a label, baby, I can hardly walk a straight line. Yeah, you make me wanna turn the lights down low, say your name, pull you close, fall like rain. 'Cause I've been 3 sheets to the wind, but I ain't never been this strong. Never had a harder time getting out of bed or waking up. I feel something different when I got you in my hands. There ain't a better buzz, girl. You do what the whiskey can. The whiskey can. Whiskey can't steal your heart in the dark, in a dress, with a kiss, ain't a chance. You do what the whiskey can. 'Cause I've been 3 sheets to the wind, but I ain't never been this strong. Never had a harder time getting out of bed or waking up. Yeah, I feel something different when I got you in my hands. There ain't a better buzz, girl. You do what the whiskey can't. The whiskey can.
Wow.
Hey, we got a sneak peek of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love getting a sneak peek.
Yeah, I got a good feeling about that, dude. That's
Oh, thanks, man.
all right. Wow. When did you just wrote that?
Yeah.
Like
a week or so ago.
all right, you just wrote it.
Yeah.
Just last week.
I was just sitting around the house making notes. And, hey, I got a song. That's cool. That's cool. While I was drinking my whiskey. So there you go. Wow, dude, that's awesome. Number one, you got the great voice. You the lyrics, the words, everything goes together well. It tells a story. And dude, that's what country music's all about. We know that. So, and you're doing it right. That's not whiskey, that's water.
Drinking water tonight.
I know.
Monday night.
I'll wait till work is done.
There you go.
We don't call this work. We just have a lot of fun. We get to know the great artists like yourself. And, we've had a lot of those, check in with us here on the podcast. You can always go to skiphappens.com and see who we've had. We've had Martina and Pam Tillis, and, we had the legendary Pat Boone on one night. I mean, it's just so cool that Deb and I get to talk to these stars like yourself and all that, some of the legendary artists and some of the brand spanking new artists. So it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to hear the, the background, to go behind the artist, so to speak, and find out where they're from and they're growing up and why you're doing what you're doing and all that good stuff. So
we sure appreciate you, having us and giving us a platform and an opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah. And that's, here's this is part of that silver lining of the pandemic, is we weren't doing a lot of these before like this. And now once the pandemic set in, it's like this, I said, we got to get these artists out there, and Deb doing what she does and her passion and dedication for the format, me doing what I do. I said, let's get these artists, let's get them on the podcast and have our viewers and our listeners and, get to see and hear these artists. So it's an avenue that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I know there's a lot of people doing it. So do all that you can, get yourself out there, and you've got to, like I said, that song is climbing the chart rather quickly. So that's cool. Hey, before we let you go, I got this list of questions. All right. So
all right.
I know as an artist, everybody does the rapid fire thing or whatever, but I have a list of 25 questions, and I usually, wow, what do you see? Deb thinks I'm nuts.
No. The poor guy. I mean, he's like, oh my God, 25 questions.
Oh, no, it's not 25. We only do a few of these, but you pick a number between 1 and 25, and I'll ask you that question. So whenever you're ready, Teddy. Pick a number.
6.
Turkey, duck, or deer hunt?
Deer.
Okay. Pick another number. Good.
10.
Oh, for Secret Services purposes, what would be your code name?
Lance.
Lance.
Mhm.
Right, Lance.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like somebody that, hey, get a hold of Lance.
Short for Lance Romance.
Okay. All right.
There's definitely a story behind that. We have to find out.
You notice I'm going to move on. All right.
Mhm.
Pick another number.
15.
All right, 15. Here we go. Oh, dude, what's your go-to dance move?
Oh man, not too much.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on.
Nope.
Just keeping it in my lane.
Yeah, from guy to guy, I don't blame you, man. I'm like that. All right, let's do another one. Another couple here. Give me another.
25.
What's the name of the podcast? That's pretty easy.
Skip happens.
All right, pick another one.
20.
Fried or hot chicken?
Fried.
You don't like the hot stuff, huh?
Just depends. I grew up, where I'm from, Barberton, Ohio. It's
Yeah.
like, I think we're the capital of fried chicken, man.
I got
we
you.
got the best stuff.
All right, let's do one more.
1.
It's too easy. Favorite drink to fill your solo cup with? I think I already know the answer.
I think you already got that one. Yeah.
All right, let's put that. All right, do one more.
2. 3.
So you're a. All right, no, go on.
How about you pick one?
You pick one. That's what I was going to say.
All right,
You pick one.
Okay. All right. Because you've been doing a lot of writing, what's the hardest word you've tried to rhyme in a song?
Oh man. Gosh, we were just laughing about this in a write the other day. I'm like, there's nothing for this.
Maybe we could help.
Well, I know orange is a tough one.
Orange.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what it was. And honestly, I'm upset that I'm just drawing a blank on it.
That's
I
all
was
right.
laughing about this like 2 weeks ago because we were trying to rhyme something. Like, we've got nothing for this. I think we changed the word. It was so tough.
Yeah, I think the harder you think, the harder it is to figure out a word. I think you just got to kind of let it go for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you have.
Yeah, I'll text you guys what that is.
Right.
Yes, please do, because we might be able to come up with a suggestion.
I don't know if I would.
Just to see.
I don't know. We've been chatting with Teddy Robb tonight, and Teddy, what's your website, dude?
TeddyRobb.com.
Well, that was pretty straightforward and pretty easy.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you can find everything out about Teddy. His bio's on there. His music's on there, I would assume. When he hits the road again, you're going to see where he's going to be and when he's going to be there, and all that stuff. Merch. Do you have merch on there too?
I think there is some merch on there. Yeah.
You got to take a look. But if there is, we, especially during this time with the pandemic, the artists definitely like Teddy, they all need a little bit of help. So, if you could go on and get yourself a shirt or whatever they may have, some sort of merchandise that helps the artists out, just a great deal. But Teddy, you're really awesome, dude. It's been such a pleasure to chat with you here tonight, to get to know you. Man, I hope our paths cross rather soon. I know Deb's in Nashville quite a bit. I get there. Well, I don't know when I'm going to be there now. I'm kind of stuck here. So, but
do you play often in Nashville? I mean, maybe not obviously like on Broadway, but do you play outside of that area at all?
I've been doing quite a few writers rounds lately. So, you can catch me getting up and singing a few originals and doing that quite a bit. I've been playing the listening room quite often lately.
We love the listening.
Oh,
yeah, I love that place too.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be back there in January, so I'll have to check your schedule out.
All right. Look me up.
She's going to have to quarantine when she comes home.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
I repeat what you said. I cannot wait to meet you in person and find my way out in Sacramento. Skip and Deb, thank you guys.
Sacramento?
Syracuse.
Dude.
Where the snow is.
It was like on the other coast. Where's Syracuse?
Actually,
I was in California with you guys this whole time.
oh, that's so funny. I was gonna say,
That's why
see
I
now,
said, how is it out there?
Hey,
we always tell people come here in the summer because it's winter a long time here, but you could actually come in the winter because we could go skiing.
That's so funny. Syracuse,
home of the Orange, Syracuse University, the Northeast. We have full 4 seasons, and we get a whole lot of snow. Dude, you would love it if you snowboard. You would love it here because
hey, I'm ready.
We don't have the mountains like Colorado, but still, there's places to go. We have the ski slopes and stuff, of course.
We could ski.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I bet you are. Good. You know what? I think Nashville had snow today.
We did. We got about maybe an inch.
Wow.
Oh my God.
City must have closed down. Blizzard. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All closed. All right, Teddy, we're not going to keep you. We're gonna sign off here. Thank you so much for joining us. Hang out afterwards for just a minute. If you go away, come back on because we just want to talk to you with the mics off. So all right, get some info. But thank you for joining us. Make sure if you're watching this, you're listening, check out Teddy Robb. Listen for the single Heaven on Dirt. It's huge. It's big. It's just growing. It's on fire. I don't know. I'm trying to think of all these words, but anyways, it's crazy. It's crazy good. So Teddy, thank you. You're awesome. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, everyone.